Good evening. This is the Friday night takeaway with me, Mr. B, Talk MU. We've got a couple of really, really special guests. We've got Charlie from Dugout Daily, and we've got Blue Moon Ian. He's our Gary Lineker of the FTB, both Man City fans. This should be an interesting Friday night takeaway. Good evening and welcome. I have two really, really special guests. I'll let them introduce themselves. Just below me, we have Charlie. Give yourself a couple-minute introduction, big man or little man.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie from Dugout Daily, 15 years old, and a diehard City fan.
Ian.
Hi, I'm Blue Moon Ian, 115 years old. And I've watched City since I was a kid. I suppose I was born and brought up in Manchester. Both my parents come from Manchester. So interestingly, by definition of Noel Gallagher, that makes me genetically perfect. And yeah, from a council estate in Wythenshawe, I supported City in the playground from being 4 or 5 years old. My first shirt, I think I had Rodney Marsh on my back. And to prevent myself getting bullied, I joined the biggest kids in the playground, and they supported City. And therefore, through thick and thin, and all, it was mainly thin for the next 4 decades. Here I am.
Welcome to the agenda, big man. Welcome to the agenda. Before we go any further, talk.
Yes.
We've given Yank the wrong link. Could you do the biz for me so we can get him on, please?
Oh, I don't even know if I've got him. Let me just have a look.
I was
going to say, what's that noise? Can you hear that noise, Mr. B? Can you hear it?
What is that? Is it a popping noise?
No, it's the noisy neighbours. I keep telling them to keep quiet, but they just won't listen. They will not listen. They just keep partying, and it's, you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to get the council out on this.
Before we go any further, there's a couple of things that we're going to be doing quite regular on the show. Wally of the week, or OMONDI of the week, as it was last week. We've got a couple of clips from. Oh, welcome.
Y'all trying to block me out, eh?
We're sorry, man. We sent you the wrong link. Apologies.
Oh, good. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Welcome, Yank. Sorry, it's just letting the viewers know that we got a couple of things that we do on this show, especially. We got Wally of the week. The last couple of weeks it's been our boss Solo and my right hand man OMONDI. We've got another couple from him today. We're just gonna play him now. Nothing to comment on really. See me in the comments, and we'll have a vote at the end of the show just to see if OMONDI retains his title or if Solo does something special. So here's the first clip anyway. This is Solo being Solo.
I love Fred, yeah. I love Fred. And Fred's got energy, and he's got sort of like, he breaks up the defense, but everything else.
Okay, so I'm going to play it again.
I love Fred, yeah. I love Fred, and Fred's got energy, and he's got sort of like, he breaks up the defense, but everything else.
So he breaks up the defense, and
he breaks up our own defense.
Right, there you go. Thank you very much. That is what I had in my mind, in all fairness. But Now, this is a Monday. They did send a long clip to strip a Monday to set him up, but I'm going to cut it at the most important bit. So here's a Monday.
Nothing to do with the midfield, letting people through. His personal mistakes. And you're also going to ignore the stuff that Pogba was doing, flicking the ball across the box. Something you learn.
I want some balance.
Something
I
you
want
learn
some
in
balance.
Sunday League, that you should never pass the ball across your box. This guy is doing it for fun. And then you've got Bailly saving. He's saving him. Like, come on, man. We're watching
Two things: by starting position and heroics and all that kind of thing. Don't get over it. Don't just be blind by this, guys. Look at his starting position. Look at his positioning. These are major issues which led to a goal. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I'm not going to play that again.
I saw his starting position. It was behind the freaking attacker when he gave the second goal.
Look, this is a Monday. All day, God bless a Monday, he's been trying to defend that. I will have my say towards the end of the show. You lot have seen the clips. If you need me to show them again, just let me know. I'll show them again. But at the moment, I think we'll leave it at that. We've got more important things to talk about. Ian, tomorrow, the derby. What are your thoughts? What are your expectations from your boys?
You're on mute, Ian, by the way.
Cheers for that. Thank you. I am unmuted, alive and kicking. What are my thoughts on that? And my thoughts always revert to, as Solo knows, I've been in retail and a director for a long time in business, and you get all these leadership quotes, but there is the best ever leadership quote is by Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson says, "It's all well and good having a great strategy until someone punches you in the face." I think for City tomorrow, if it all goes to plan A, myopically plan A, and we don't concede an early goal or get a player sent off, we will probably win. But the challenge that City often have is it is myopic. It's a plan A without a plan B. If something weird happens in the first half, we concede an early goal, we get a player sent off. City really struggle to find a plan B to break a team down. So my thoughts are that City will win. They have a much stronger link between defence and midfield, and I believe that's where United are weak. But if that one moment happens in the first half, City won't have a plan B. The other thing I want to add was I was really interested in Solskjaer's lineup last week. When he needed to win at Spurs, he picked his really experienced players throughout the team. Whereas when you look at the derbies in years gone by, where United have really run at City, and Mr. B and I were talking before we went on air, that United's recent record against City in the derbies has been very good in times when City have finished further up the league. And what's generally happened is when you play what I call either the homegrown players or the players that have been with United a long time with real passion in their boots, from Rashford to Lingard to Greenwood, players of that ilk to McTominay, then the derby becomes a real contest. Who was the Scottish guy earlier? I always forget his name. Played for Ferguson.
Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, thank you, Fletcher.
Fergie would always pick Darren Fletcher in the derby, who would give it blood, sweat, and tears, and he'd be average for the rest of the season. But in the derby, bloody hell, he'd give it some. So I think if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays the kind of Fergie way, picking derby players like the ones who've been with the club a long time, running and fighting at City, it will be a decent contest. If he picks some of the show ponies, who maybe don't have United in their veins, City will do it. That's my thoughts.
You're on mute, man.
You're on mute, Mr. B.
See, I did what you did. Yank, talk to me, big man.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhythm. Come on now, it's only a freestyle time. I don't know what this man's going to do. I really wish I could say, but I think with having only two center backs healthy, it's scary because it's two guys I don't have a ton of confidence in. If you want to talk about the defenders I have confidence in going into a game like this, the ones that are healthy are not the ones that I trust. I want to love Bailly, but I can't trust him. I can't anymore. I can't trust him to stay healthy. I can't trust him to be where he's supposed to. And as much as, the bias slander won't be allowed by OMONDI, that second goal, all you have to look is the fact that he's literally nipping heels and kissing bum trying to get back on defense for the second goal. I don't trust it. But it's going to be an interesting game. I'm excited to see it happen. And like the man before me said, we play better in derby games when we play people that bleed for this team. We saw what happened last time. I mean, Shaw scored against City. Scott scored against City. You play these guys. I mean, even Pogba, as much as I want to call him a show pony, when it comes to Manchester City, it's his bread and butter. So we'll really have to see how this goes. I think we'll revert back to a 4-2-3-1, but farther than that, and the two center backs and the goalie, it's really up in the air for what really will happen with Ole, because you never know with him.
Charlie.
I'm never confident going into derbies. I remember last year I was confident and we ended up losing 2-0 that game. So I've never been confident since, to be honest. So with United at the minute, of course, you got battered by Liverpool, but then I watched the Tottenham game and Tottenham were appalling, to be honest. Cavani and Ronaldo ripped Tottenham apart. The Atalanta game in the week, I thought Ronaldo was just Ronaldo, weren't he, in that game? He's world class. And then, so to be honest, I'd take a draw now, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Talk.
Yes, evening, folks. Look, let's not kid ourselves here. Listen, Manchester City are streets ahead of us at the moment. Streets ahead. They're going to be the more composed team. They're going to have the better plan. They've got the better patterns of play, etc., etc. I know what Ollie was talking about in his press conference. He was saying we've got to be, on it and we've got to be at it and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think he will go back to the 4-2-3-1, if I'm honest with you. I don't. I think he's going to somehow make this 3-5-2 work and he's going to stick with it. But if he's going to do that and we allow City to get in between those lines, like Ian was saying there about the defence in the midfield, if City get in between those lines, and we're going to try that kind of mid-block, low block, they'll have us tied in knots. There's no two ways about that. And they will find ways through. They will get in behind, and it will be an absolute disaster, in my opinion. And the only way we can stop them is if we are going to actually press. I'm going to say press. I mean, as soon as that whistle goes, you're in the faces everywhere. Man mark on them everywhere to cut out that build-up and that tiki-taka passing. You've got to get in their faces and keep with them, because otherwise we're just going to invite pressure after pressure after pressure, and we'll get done. Simple as that.
I'm going to get hate for this, but we need the pressing ability of Dan James. As much as people are going to go after me, Dan James is one of the top 3 pressing players we had when he was here. If everybody presses like Dan James did when he played for the club, this could be a game we could win.
I'm just gonna say something. You two, especially you are talking about pressing. Are we going to learn to press it? Are we going to learn to press in 3 days? We pressed against Liverpool and got destroyed. So I think Ollie's going to sit back. I can't see him pressing at all.
Yeah, but what I'm saying when I say the press, I mean, he's got to, if he's going to give them the instruction to try and keep your shape and do the block, blah blah. But even then, when City get in towards our, the danger area, that's when you've got to get in the face. You've got to get next to these players and make them make decisions they don't want to make. You give them time on the ball with players drifting around when we're trying to keep our shape. Like I said, we'll get tied in knots. City will just be like ping, 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 and we'll get absolutely slaughtered, in my opinion. Because you're telling me that City are not better than Atalanta? Of course they are. Miles and miles away from Atalanta. Are they better than Tottenham? Of course they are. Miles and miles and miles away from Tottenham. Manchester City are the best team at that little pass and move, goal, pass, goal, move, float, here, there, and everywhere. We'll be all over the place. We will be all over the shop unless we can disturb that pattern that they'd like to play.
Form's out the window in rivalry games like this, though.
No, I know what you're saying, Connor, but even still, this is what I'm saying, though. We can say that as fans, but what is Ollie saying to the team? That's the question.
Yeah, and I do see how you could go with 3-5-2. I actually know exactly the lineup that I'd prefer if we went with 3-5-2. I just have this feeling with Ole that because the 4-2-3-1's worked every time that he's thrown it pretty much in league games in the Derby, he's going to go just straight back to it.
So there's a question up here. From bath time, I'm going to assume that this is to Ian and Charlie. Can I start with Ian? Just a question here. Can you ask him about De Bruyne's form? And are you worried about his form?
That's a very interesting question because since he's come back from the European Championships in the summer, he has not been the player he was last season. De Bruyne, though, like a Rolls Royce or whatever, it does take quite a few games to get going. And literally, I think he's only had about 3 games back. What I would say is I don't think he's the key decision. The first player I'll look for when Pep announces his sheet is who's he playing as defensive midfield. And I just hope to God he plays a defensive midfielder, not like he did in the Champions League final. But if he plays Rodri over Fernandinho, I think by the way that he's rested Fernandinho, he's going to pick Fernandinho. And that'll go either one of 2 ways. Fernandinho will play a blinder. He'll intercept everything. He'll run forward. He'll play the ball and City will win. Or Fernandinho will cut somebody in half and get sent off, and the whole game will change. He's a knife-edge player. You know, he plays on the edge far. He throws caution to the wind far more than Rodri does, who's a very safe and good player.
Sounds like bye.
Yeah, so if Fernandinho plays, United have one chance either way. If Rodri plays, it will be a far more strategic game.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think Rodri's 95%. I'm 95% sure Rodri will start this game because he's been on great form in that run of the 3 games against Chelsea, PSG and Liverpool all away. Him and Bernardo Silva were probably my best 2 players in that week. So I think them 2 especially are some of the first names on the team sheet tomorrow.
You still haven't answered me about De Bruyne, though, Charlie.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, so I just don't see a space for De Bruyne getting into the team.
I thought Rodri looked really leggy against Crystal Palace, and again he played midweek. And Fernandinho is a Derby kind of warrior. So I don't know. You could be right, Charlie, but I'm not so sure that Pep won't play Fernandinho for this one-off game. Back at the De Bruyne, honestly, I've got no idea to the question. I don't know why he's off form, but he's certainly not the strident, confident player that he was 3-4 months ago.
I don't think he's fully fit, to be honest. He got a knock in the Italy game for Belgium in the Euros and it's not been the same since.
Something like shin splints or something like that where you can get rid of it, but it just never fully kind of goes away unless you have a big rest.
Yeah.
But,
should just rest him. Maybe should just rest him for the rest of the season. And
they'll probably put up the same numbers if they do that.
He is the ace in the hand, though. He really is the ace in the hand. I mean, I've been delighted with how Bernardo has responded this season, but he is the ace in the hand. But, you know, from United's point of view, there is always 2 vulnerabilities for City. Left back, even with Cancelo, who's right-footed, there is a weakness there at left back. And if United want to exploit it, that's the side to go down. Thank goodness it's Wan-Bissaka going down that side and not Shaw, which gives me a little bit of comfort. And the other is obviously, you know, City create far more chances than they score goals. And, you know, I hope they play Gabriel Jesus tomorrow, and I hope they don't play him down the right.
Well, the question there is, is Walker going to be healthy? Because if Walker's not healthy, we talked about this earlier, Charlie, I know. You know, if Walker's not healthy, then Cancelo goes over to the right side, and then he does have to face off against Shaw. Does that make you a little bit nervous if that happens?
Zinchenko will play left against Wan-Bissaka, won't he?
Yeah, and I think that's dangerous. We can go down both sides then, Mr. B.
Oh, and down the middle.
And down
the middle.
As well.
Look, I mean,
you ain't going down the middle.
Yeah, of course we are. We've got, you know who we've got going down the middle of our pitch, don't you, Ian? Come on now. Come on now, Ian.
Don't give me the Fred Pogba crap.
Yes,
Pogba's suspended.
I'm not talking about the middle of the park. I'm talking about our centre forward.
Goldbridge going Sue.
Yeah, I think there's going to be I'm feeling now there's going to be trouble for you. I've got you two on the show now, and that whole tribal thing's coming out from me now. And
whether it's set up for Ronaldo, but if it was set up for someone, I actually think it's set up for Jadon Sancho. And maybe it's the day he comes of age against his old club. That would be kind of poetic justice.
It would be poetic justice.
I think Ronaldo would be in Diaz's pocket the whole game.
But he'd have to go forward at the back if he's going to play Sancho.
Don't say that, Ian, please.
What did you just say, Ian?
Okay, so that's a goal. Ronaldo's scoring now.
Ronaldo will be in Diaz's pocket the whole game. I'm not worried about Ronaldo.
No, Ronaldo will put his bollocks on the back of Diaz's head as he scores a header over him.
Backtracking there, Ian. Backtracking, son. Backtracking.
Ian.
Diaz will have Ronaldo sorted. But I just wonder how Jadon Sancho feels about a derby tomorrow.
Clip it.
And the banter starts.
No,
it's only taken 20 minutes. But that's good.
I think Ian just worded his wrong. Ronaldo's going to have a part of his shoe in Diaz's pocket as he scores over the top of him.
It will be like a leopard taking down some aged wildebeest.
You know, the thing that worries me, right, is look, if we do play this three at the back, right, and we pack that midfield out, when we get the ball, you see what we did in the last game. We get the ball, we win the ball back, and what do? We dawdle. There is no immediate, because with this system, you're looking for penetrative attacks quick. As soon as you pick the ball up, your wide players go, bang, and you go. Everybody makes a run. You release the ball quickly. Do things quickly, right? Because in order for the opposition to get the ball in the midfield, they're obviously going to have to put numbers in there. So in doing so, leave themselves vulnerable at the back. That's the idea. We do not do anything like that. We just be dawdled sideways, backwards, looking. No. If we do not make the most out of whatever possession we do pick up from City in that midfield and not release it quick with runners, then we're going to be forever just chasing our own asses around the midfield. And City, it's going to be too easy for City.
I think this is an example of when I went Lindelof, because I think this could be a thing if we do play the three at the back. If we had Lindelof, then we could, if we play Rashford alongside Ronaldo like we did midweek, as soon as that ball gets turned over to us, just tell Rashford to just sprint and have Lindelof train him, because we've seen it time and time again. There's one thing that Lindelof can do, it's find Rashford with some long ball over the top.
Yeah, I think it's called an alehouse ball.
Okay. Talk. I'm going to ask you, how can we really hurt Manchester City tomorrow? Not how you hope. How can we really hurt Man City tomorrow?
Well, if we can play, if he goes for the 4-2-3-1 Old Faithful, which we know we've done City with before, and quickly breaking the play up quickly, but releasing the ball quickly for those lightning counter attacks. That's, for me, that's the only way we can do it, because, like I say, if he I mean, it's possible that we could do it with this if he does go for this 3 or 5 at the back, however you want to call it. But again, things still, they have to be done quickly. Otherwise, if you invite City to just go, okay, yeah, you've got the ball, we know what you're going to try and do here. But Pep may even preempt that by playing a 4-1. You may play a 4-1, Pep. When he was talking about Fernandinho, saying to Fernandinho, you just stay there, son. And if they do try and break on us, you're there. He'll be there. And that will slow any attacks down. And then, where do we stand then? So if you just go for a 4-1, what do you think, Ian? Do you think you'll go for the 4-1 rather than a straight 4-3-3?
I do think if Ollie studies any of the previous form and looks at the teams that are effective against City, like an early season Leicester game or whatever, then he will realise if he keeps it tight and has the sprinters up front, exactly as you've described, then yes, that's where they're vulnerable. An end-to-end movement, that's where City are vulnerable. Real quick pace, but he's got to pick the right team to do that. And I'm still not convinced that's Ronaldo. I think that's Greenwood. I think that's Rashford. And I think that's Lingard. I don't see it as the other guys. I mean, I'm going to have a go, Ronaldo. You know, he's okay against the minnows of the Champions League and a shit Tottenham Hotspur, but where was he at Liverpool? So I'm not convinced. It's all about inches. And 5 to 8 years ago, Ronaldo would have been up there on the very best players in Europe in that sort of position. Now what he does all that posturing and staturing against the minnows of the Champions League and some of the lesser teams of the Premier League and says, hey, look at me. Well, how about, hey, look at me in the really big games? Because I don't think he's got it anymore.
And then he also scores 38 goals for Juventus last year. So I don't think he just goes against the minnows and gets it done.
I could score 38 goals in the Italian league and probably 48 in the French league, but we're talking a different language to the Premier League. With respect,
yeah, you had me till Lingard. I just don't think Lingard gets
in the American league.
I think you say Lingard because you really hope he goes in, but for me, I have to agree with Talk here. I have to agree with Talk here, though. The best thing that we can do is play something like a play a 4-2-3-1, which I think is honestly, it is the old bread and butter, but it's also the old bread and butter specifically when it comes to beating City, especially in the league. And I think having a front three of Ronaldo, Rashford, and probably Greenwood, as much as I think Sancho, this is kind of his kind of game that he would have his first breakout game would be against his old team. I see this being something where we've seen them break out very quickly, and we don't always have to have the striker be super involved with it to have him break out quickly, because you have Bruno and you have Rashford and you have Greenwood who can all get forward very fast. If you get that ball and you, like Talk said, you cannot let them just, because they also have, everybody in the midfield and on the wings can hit it from outside the box. And how many times have we either nearly been or been killed by a shot outside the box this season already? I just think you keep it tight, you keep it back. You cannot, as much as I think we could press, I think there's a difference between pressing like Liverpool does and pressing like I think we should, which is just keeping a tight shape and making sure that if they put that ball on the wing, you trap it so that they have to really do something they might not want to do with the ball once they have it. So you get someone like Foden, or if they do have Grealish and Foden on the equal wings, you trap them kind of into that corner. So it's either going to be a hopeful cross into the box, or it's going to be, crap, I need to go backwards.
If United are going to win this, it's got to be on the sprint. It's got to be the breakout. It's got to be the end-to-end goal.
Yeah.
And I think Greenwood, I love him. You've got a diamond there. And I think you've got to pick a derby players for a derby occasion.
Or you just have Ederson throw us the ball like he did last time.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
He's not going to drop Ronaldo, though. There's no way Ollie's going to drop Ronaldo. We know Ronaldo's going to start. Yeah, 100%.
Fergie won't let him. He's not picking the team. I think Ronaldo picks the team. Fergie picks it first, Ronaldo second, and Ollie maybe gets a chip in at the end. It does. There's no way. He threw all his toys out last time. He's not going to go down that road, is he? Ollie's will cack his pants if he doesn't pick Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, like you say, I mean, Ronaldo is starting. There's no two ways about that. And it's going to be interesting to see, because what we do not want to see is Ronaldo dropping too deep, because you then try and break. He's not got the legs to break. He's got to be. He's going to have to just lock on the shoulders of the defense and hope. If we get the ball, like I say, but this all comes down to quick decision making, but players showing into the space to receive the ball to pass it on forward with first touch. I don't want to see players like if Scott McTominay's playing hiding behind the Man City players, like blocking his own passing lanes off. He does that a lot. You just think, what are you doing? Why are you stood behind that player? You can't receive the ball like that. Get to the side of him.
I'd put McTominay in the team. He's the sort of player who will give absolutely 110% tomorrow. His head will never drop till he's dead tomorrow because it's a derby. He's a derby.
Oh yeah, he will do. But there's a danger in that also, Ian, isn't there? Really, because we know what he's like. He's not got the skill set to carry the ball too far forward because he just can't do that.
But we've seen what he's like in the derbies, though. It's different for him when he's in the derbies.
Yeah, but it could go wrong for us, couldn't it? He could get to if he overruns the ball and his passion gets ahead of him, and he starts flailing, whoosh, we're in trouble, aren't we? We don't need that. Just don't
Rebel.
need
Oh my gosh, how I dream about having Park Ji-sung back in this team.
Ji-sung Park.
How I dream of days when we had him.
I'm sorry. Charlie, before I get your little take on this, we're talking about bloody runners. This isn't the Olympics. This is football. I'm sick and tired of people talking about runners, running, bloody running. It's a game of football. I want a player who can pass. First things first. I want a player who knows their position. I'm sick of having bloody horses. Charlie, sorry.
Yeah. I think you do need that pace, though, for the counter-attack. The likes of Rashford. If you was going to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, in my opinion, it'd be Ronaldo up top, Greenwood on the right, and Rashford on the left.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Mr. B, if we could, do you know the way we play? Do you know that goal we scored against Atalanta, that first goal? The back heel, and Ronaldo just caressing it, right? Finessing it into the net.
I need to have Ian's number for when Ronaldo scores.
When we scored, the way we scored that goal was that if we can play like that from top to bottom, i.e., from playing it out from the back through the midfield to the forwards, then we would be a very dangerous team. But we don't do it. We dawdle. Players don't make the right decisions at the right time and anticipate moving to space. Give them, show for the ball, and everything's too laboured and too slow. That goal was because the ball had fell kindly as it did. It all worked out for us in that moment because everybody was in the right area of the pitch. But like I say, from going back to front, we can't do. I've not seen anything to convince me that we can play that type of football. We can't play around City. No way, not a chance. We'll get absolutely slapped to pieces, and then we'll get our pants pulled down, and then we'll have a big blue moon tattooed on our ass. You know what I mean? So,
look, the good thing is tomorrow we've got you on the watch along from 12:15.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting listening. If you haven't listened to it talk on the watch along, it's a different level. Normally watch alongs are very boring and undescriptive. You get the full description. So
that would talk.
At some stage, get in there. All right, he does waffle a lot, but that's why we call him talk.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's descriptive waffling.
This game is so early, though, man. This game is so early.
Oh well, look, there's early. Listen, you're in the wrong country, Yank.
It's 5:30 in the morning for me. This game, man.
Alarm clock, mate. Get your alarm clock ready to tick to go off right at 5 o'clock.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Well, why don't you guys put the Oscars on at a decent time so I'd have to get up at 3 a.m? It's.
Yeah.
Trust me, I literally all my sports I watch are all Europeans, like F1, soccer, rugby. All of them are all European. I'm just sitting there. Practice 1:30 in the morning. Second practice 3 in the morning. Great. All right, so I'm not watching anything, I guess. Went to Russia, 4 a.m. race time, and I'm like, all right.
Did you see that question, Charlie, from Anthony?
Yeah. I wouldn't say they rely on Ronaldo, but he's definitely one of the main parts of United's team so far this season.
Well, let me ask you this then. I'll put it this way. Take Ronaldo out of those last 3 games, do we come out with the same amount of points?
No, definitely not.
Exactly.
You lose at Atalanta. You still beat Tottenham. And who else did you play? Liverpool, was it?
Yeah, he didn't contribute.
You're taking a Mickey, Charlie.
What?
This is why I love you, man. I know what's up. Listen, I've watched you enough now. See, there it is. That's that little head up. Oh, innocent, looking into the camera. Oh, why didn't you say? I know what's going on in your head, mate. I heard that thing. Don't worry, I heard it. Yeah.
It's all tactical.
Oh, that's interesting. Apparently, Alonga's going to be possibly in the squad for tomorrow, or for the weekend.
How does that work?
I'm guessing we'll probably see him on the bench.
I feel okay. Well,
Because apparently Alongo when they went to when they arrived at the team hotel. Apparently, 2 players are smuggled in a van, so they don't know who it was. But Alongo arrived a couple minutes late. But he's in the hotel for the match tomorrow.
Okay.
So we will have to see if. And I think that's interesting because we haven't seen him all season.
Yeah.
Not even like in the subs. Not even like subs
It's
against young boys.
That's a very interesting one.
Wasn't okay. Well, look, you've got me there, mate. I'll be honest, you got me there. We've got a message here from bath time. Yeah, see, there you go. But I agree to a certain extent with bath time here. I just
That
can't
makes
see
sense.
it.
Yeah.
What's the point? You're gonna give him experience? Oh wow, bloody he's got enough experience. He plays for Man United.
Got to
All
give
right.
that experience to the derby so that when they actually come and play the derbies, they have that. They already know what the atmosphere is like.
Okay.
Not playing them, but just have them probably in the subs box with everybody else.
Do you know that my danger is with obviously with Grealish on that pitch. Yeah, you know what he's like. He's
The short list for the Oscars is coming up at the end of the next month.
He's a quality player, though. He can't honestly, and in them like the sort of half spaces, shall we say, he's because you go in at him there, you bring him down, dangerous place to be giving free kicks away, and if you don't, whoa, he'll have you dizzy, and he's what I mean.
Wan-Bissaka is a bit clumsy.
Well, this is my worry, and you know what I mean. And this is why I'm saying that with the concentration levels, the not going to ground, you've got to show players out. They've got to get support quickly, not again dawdling. But again, we'll wait. All we can do is we can wait and see tomorrow, and then we'll for the return leg of this show or whatever show it is, we'll come back to do the what do you call it? The inquiry.
Match reaction.
Yes.
I think the phrase you're looking for United is post-mortem.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Well, I thought I'm not going to say that, and then I was thinking, should I say autopsy? Which I don't know. It could turn into a more post-mortem for Man City. If Pep falls for them same tricks again, which to be fair, come on, let's have it right. Is he really going to? Pep's listen. He is the best manager on the planet, and he has been for
I know what you're saying. He has had moments of madness when it comes to selecting a team for an important game. He has had these moments.
Of course he does, because he can't listen. This is the price of genius. He is a footballing genius. There's no two ways about that. Nobody can ever question that or argue against that fact. But what he's going to do is, at some point, there's a little bulb is going to go on his head, and he's going to go. You know what? No. The little demon on my left shoulder who's telling me to do this. What's that say? Sorry.
Rashford was not spotted arriving at the hotel today.
He might just turn up tomorrow morning.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but apparently he's like the only player that wasn't with the rest of the team arriving at the hotel. So it's questionable where he is and if he might have. But he's also, of course, I want to just say this comment. Solskjaer has just basically decided he's going to spend part of his press conference taking the piss. He goes, we're always going to think we are the number one club in Manchester, and that also probably means the world as well.
I'm tired of all his nonsense. Sometimes I really am. Sometimes he winds me up. Not all the time, but just when he makes stupid, bloody comments. If you can't answer sensibly, just shut your mouth. God Almighty, yeah. I'm gonna look into that one. I will look into that one, Yank. I'll get him Monday on. I know he's got a microphone he's got a phone line into Old Trafford there. He's always talking about dressing room. So on Monday, could you make that phone call or send that email or the WhatsApp or Telegram now?
Because I'm really scared if Rashford's not on our side. I'll tell you, if Rashford doesn't start, I'm scared.
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem for us, in all fairness.
Was there any signs of any kind of knock or injury in the last game? Not that we're aware of.
No. The only one that I'm aware of that's like got a possible the only surprise news for not being featured has been Cavani's day, and of course that was with him being withdrawn from the national team with a medical reason. So, and that makes me think maybe The thing that scares me as well is like we saw, like I said, with Alonga being seen at the hotel late and Rashford not being seen arriving makes me really worried about whether Rashford might have had something happen that's not been disclosed.
Training.
And he's been replaced in the squad by Alonga.
Oh, Yank, what have you done, man? Do you know what time it is here? And now we have to be searching for this information.
Mate, it's 3:45 in the afternoon for me. I'm all chill. I haven't even had dinner yet.
Oh, wow. Well, it's a lot late. It's a lot later than that here, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Score predictions, lads, before we wrap up. And then I'm going to have a little replay of this Wally of the Week. See if we can get your votes on that as well. So for my for the first score, I'm going to ask Charlie, as you're the guest.
I'll say 1-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. This is. Let's see. I'm looking. Let me look into your eyes. Let me see. You looking at. So you got that little look on his face.
He's got that look.
Right.
He's full of mischief, man. Look, his eyes are telling a different story, man.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Ian.
0-2. I think as long as something strange doesn't happen in that first half, I think City can dominate, and I think they can not concede. And I think that the centre of United's defence is too weak. The communication between defence and the attacker is not good enough. I think City can score either side at half time. I think it'll be 0-2.
Talk.
Yeah, listen, as hard as it is for me to say, of course I want us to win. There's no two ways about it. But again, given what I've said, if none of that gets played out, then City are going to beat us. And I've already said 2-0 anyway to City. I don't see us exactly what Ian said. It's the defence versus midfield communication and understanding that is just not there.
But it is a derby. It is football.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, but. Yeah, but I'm not very confident just because of recent performances. It just doesn't fill me with confidence when you're coming up against the best passing team in the world at the moment. That tells you the story right there.
Yank.
I'll end it like I started. It's Ole freestyle time. It's going to be 2-1 United.
I missed that. It's Ollie what? Ollie freestyle, yeah?
Ole freestyle time. It's 2-1 United.
Ooh, see, and I'm gonna go. I'm sure I've gone 2-2. I really want to say we're gonna win just because Ian and Charlie are here, but I can't do that to myself because I'm on the show. We're on the FTB. What time's our show? What time are we on the show on Sunday, Ian? Premier League roundup.
9 o'clock, and I'm looking for you guys to join us, and I'll be there, win or lose. If City lose, I'll still be there. You can come and have a good laugh.
No, I'll be there. I'll be there laughing at you, mate.
I was there first game of the season when Tottenham won, and the guys were laughing at me there. And look what happened to them.
Need to clip the Ronaldo being in Diaz's pocket thing and just save it for later.
Yeah,
we'll save it.
That's fine.
Oh, look. And look, OMONDI's in the cave. So that brings us on nicely now to just a couple of clips, our Wally of the Week clips. I just want to get your vote on your, a quick thingy here. So this is the first one. This is our resident boss, Solo, doing soloisms.
I love Fred, yeah. I love Fred. And Fred's got energy and he's got sort of like, he breaks up the defense, but everything else,
See, and this is my point. We've been digging out OMONDI. Now this is OMONDI's one. As I said, it was a long clip, but I'll cut it at the point where I think OMONDI is able to back himself up a bit.
Nothing to do with the midfield, letting people through. His personal mistakes, and you're also going to ignore the stuff that Pogba was doing, flicking the ball across the box. Something you learn.
I want some balance.
Something you learn in Sunday league that you should never pass the ball across your box. This guy is doing it for fun. And then you've got Bailly he's saving him. Like, come on, man. We're watching
two things: by starting position and heroics and all that kind of thing. Don't get over it. Don't just be blind by this, guys. Look at his starting position. Look at his positioning. These are major issues which led to a goal. That's all I'm saying.
OMONDI looks like he's playing with something.
He's been frustrated all day. He's been frustrated. So we've got a 5-man panel here. I'm going to start with you, Charlie. Out of those 2 clips,
I'm gonna say Solo.
that's one. Can I ask Yank?
I'm sorry. Solo, that's a nightmare, my friend.
Thank you very much. Ian?
Yeah, trying to justify the unjustifiable. Yeah, Solo.
Talk.
Oh, hey, listen, it was so difficult, and I really wanted to go for that, but I couldn't, so it has to be on Monday for me.
You see? And me, I've gone Solo just because that is so typical. He made 2 wrong statements in one little passage about Fred. So me
Called him good
personally,
and said that he has energy.
I'm sorry, hands down. The thing why I can't vote for a Monday because a Monday explained, and I've gone back and I've had a look. I've whispered just amongst us 5. A Monday, I think a Monday was right. I think he might have been right.
I think there's parts of his explanation that without it would make him look even worse. But there's part of his explanation where you have to kind of just go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because as much as I don't like Bailly, when he explained it, I'm like, that's not as bad as I initially thought.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but Solo's just got worse the second time.
And second and third time and fourth time you hear it. So I'm Solo. From the panel, we'll have to look. We'll have a listen to the votes and have a look. But from the panel here, it's a 4-1 landslide, big man. So from us, we've made you the Solo of the week. Now, obviously, we know what you like during the week. We expect you to get you clipped up again next week. On Monday, we expect you to get clipped up next week because I know you're going to be talking nonsense again. But this week, you explained your nonsense so well, we don't even think it was nonsense. Understand now.
No, Solo's right. I absolutely hate Fred. I can't stand the fake Brazilian. I can't.
Look, we should have started with Fred talk. Talk. See, Friday night, the drinks kicking in. You know, I'm starting to mumble. I know what that means. That's the time where we need to end this show real quick before I get myself in any more trouble. So, from me, from Yank, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to get you back on talk.
Definitely get me back here.
Ian, I will see you Sunday, and hopefully we'll get you on the review show. Charlie, I look at that little face. I don't know if he's taking the piss out of me here, honestly. But yeah, we see you Sunday as well, big man.
Yeah, definitely.
So from all of us on the Man United agenda, this is me signing out, Mr. B signing out from the Friday night takeaway.